So who's the daddy in One Week Love?
Yeah.
Oh, Don.
Oh, I agree though. Hi guys, welcome to today's episode of ZULA ChickChats, and today we'll be talking about 1 Week Love.
Yes.
I'm Leah.
I'm Fauzi.
I'm Brenda.
I'm Sean.
Yes, and I'm sure you guys have already watched it. I cannot say me because me and Fauzi obviously watched it already.
I think too many times.
Like too many times because we were on the panel.
And then we watched the show after that.
Yes. How about you?
Yeah, okay. For some context, right, I had to do like the marketing collaterals for the series. So I had to watch also before it was aired. So yes, I saw everything and all the drama.
I watched the whole thing in like one sitting.
Wow.
It's like the eye bags. It was last night.
Dedication.
Dedication.
Oh my god.
okay.
I know, you just broke it up. So it's like dedication. I'm like, will you try? Never mind.
So who's the daddy in One Week Love?
Yeah.
Oh, Don.
Hey!
I agree though.
Eh?
I guess so. I guess so.
Oh wait, I'm straight. Shit.
Wait, what is happening?
Wait.
You should also gonna be like
Like Oliver!
I'm trying to encapsulate different.
okay, gets. The
Wow.
tattoo is
Yeah,
like
find my
Don,
Don.
then the shirt is like Oliver.
Oliver.
Okay,
So basically, I don't
gets.
have a personality lah.
Okay, I never say that. Okay.
Mm.
So usually at the start, I will give like a little bit of a synopsis of the series, and I'm sure everybody already knows what it's about. But just for the rough outline, it is this is actually so long. Okay, I'm just gonna read the first line. It says, "They say it takes 88 days to fall in love. We accelerated the process and to see if a group of attractive singles can live together and fall in love in just 1 week." So that's like basically giving like Love Island. What's the other shows
Singles
that they have?
Inferno.
Yeah, Singles Inferno,
Too Hot to Handle.
that kind of vibe right from the beginning. Do you feel like the series, portrayed that? Like that kind of like reality drama dating series?
Right. And I think maybe context-wise, right? I think when they asked us to be part of the panel, I really had very low expectations. Only because I think in a Singaporean context, reality shows that have come and gone didn't really do that well. Or you've seen some iteration of it on YouTube and it's just like, oh, okay lah, like that, it happens. And it's very PG, if anything. I would say 1 Week Love, when we were on the panel, there were many shrieks.
Yeah.
There were many screams because of kind of the things that transpired in the show. So actually, I'm glad to say that a lot of people, including myself, have received it quite well. In fact, nowadays, right, if I'm out on the streets or anything, people don't ask me about what I do in general. They just ask me about 1 Week Love.
I totally agree. Because very random. I went to my salon recently and the hairstylist was like, "Oh, your company do the 1 Week Love, huh?
Yeah.
Very good."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh,
It's a personality
thanks."
now lah.
Yeah, it's like TSL's personality now.
Right.
Okay, so first impressions of the show, do you feel like this already like exceeded expectations in terms of like how normally companies portray like a dating show, right? Yeah, so I mean maybe for you, Sean, like when you do you watch any other content online, like for dating content on the internet and stuff, and how did this compare for you?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I'm so boring.
Okay.
So like this as like my first ever dating reality TV show, whatever it is. Like it was. I was a bit skeptical at first. I was like, do I really want to watch people and drama? Like we've got enough of that going around. But then I watched and I was like, shh. I screamed at like 3 a.m. My mom's like, what's going on? And I'm like, this guy funny.
Wait, your mom is still awake at 3 a.m.?
Because I was damn loud. No, she was watching her own Pinoy drama lah.
Okay, I understand.
Wow, them saucy sia this one. Wow, this guy, that girl. Oof.
Right.
I was sweating.
Okay.
Yeah, I was sweating. I had like so much water. I was like, shit.
Wow. So intense,
So I got invested. I
man.
got so invested so fast. Like the first episode, I was like,
Okay.
Yeah, I have
And
to
then
admit the first
just-
episode was a little bit dry, right? But
Yeah.
I think the producers did very well in terms of casting. Like it was
okay.
really a very diverse range of people that made
Right.
me want to watch.
Okay.
Like there's the awkward guy, there's the funny guy, there's like F-boy looking guys who turned out to maybe not be F-boys. Yeah, even the girls, like I really appreciated the fact that they're all from different like ages. Like not all same age, there's a good mix. Yeah.
Okay, so speaking about like the first episode and like first impressions and stuff like that, who was your favorite and why at the start when you watched?
Ooh.
We're
Oof.
picking favorites now.
Ah, shit.
None.
Oof. Chill.
Yeah,
Shit,
honestly.
calm down.
Okay, let me explain. I think when I first watched it, right, there were certain people that we were drawn to. Then it changed throughout the entire show,
same.
right? I think initially a lot of us were very fond of Danya because
Yeah.
she was very happy
Bro
go lucky,
girl.
bro girl. She was, very chill. She wasn't taking things too seriously, and I guess that did, appeal to a lot of us. And also, like in terms of the boys, Brandon also did, come across as someone that was a favorite.
Yeah.
And there were obviously some people who weren't as appealing. I think either because of their quirks or they weren't as, I guess, fun, I guess.
Yeah.
Exactly what Fauzi said. So my favorites in the first episode were Danya and Brendan, mainly because of how real they were. They were very like, I don't care that got cameras. I'm just being me, But at the end, things changed a little bit lah. Yeah, so are we supposed to share our favorites after
Like now?
the end
No,
of
you
the
can
show?
just share like at the start, and then you can see like it changed. Like it's fine.
Yeah, it really changed because of, all the drama that happened. How about you?
I want to just say something
Yeah.
for Brenda. I can tell Brenda that Brandon is still one of her favorites post reunion. So Brandon, if you're single,
Brendan, call her leh, DM
Brenda
her.
and Brandon, can right?
And I said spelling also. I said -1 and
Yes.
Wait. Why are we doing this?
Because you're single and we're desperate.
okay, wait. Back to your
Yes, your
Brandon and Danya are actually the same. Because like they spoke their mind from the start. And I loved how raw they were. And like it was very consistent.
Yeah.
So like if it wasn't consistent, I would have gotten like a bit disappointed.
right.
But like they really stuck true. And I think what was interesting was that this whole 1 week love thing, right, was like you said, like a character arc. Right? But that happened in such a short span of time, which was amazing. Like you see people just throw out their like colours and like suddenly digging deep to find themselves. I'm like, I got so invested. I was like, damn.
Okay, so for later that some couples formed, right?
Yep.
So who do you guys ship in that situation? I think that for me, the only ones I really noticed were like Dion and Oliver.
Yeah.
And then the others were really like I think Sam and Ross here and there, right? They were a
Yeah.
bit here and there, but I felt like there was always like a spark missing.
Yeah.
Like for me, like they seem that they click very well, but as friends vibes, like they have probably similar interests. Yeah, for y'all,
Yeah, I mean Dion and Oliver were like, the perfect pairing.
Yeah.
in a
If
sense.
anything, right? If you put like pictures of them in a dating profile, you think they will immediately be the perfect one for each other.
Correct.
I mean, it carried on. If you haven't already watched, spoiler alert, you can skip this part. I mean, they did choose each other at the end,
Yeah.
right? But I think, the rest of them were pretty much up in the air.
Correct.
There wasn't a solid couple, if anything. People were jumping around. People were, we're gonna get to know each other
Yeah.
vibes,
That's not like the first episode only, right?
The first,
No, like in general,
where-
general,
like in
yeah.
general.
I think.
Dawn and Casey so hard.
Oh, is it?
But Don and Casey came in only later. later that
Yeah,
part,
I think at the start, Dion and Oliver were like, oh, so cute, like, the young couple. And then, but after a while, subsequently, I realized that all I saw was physical attraction. There was no chemistry whatsoever between them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like they were each other's types physically only.
At the
But
start.
beyond,
initially.
but beyond that, I feel like there was nothing.
right.
I'll be very honest, this is like a dating show. I'm like, why did everything that I watched in the show that was like juicy or interesting not revolve
Yeah.
around dating at all?
That's right, yeah,
know what I
I
mean?
agree.
Oh, interesting.
No, but just
Yeah.
kind of like, I was like bored of it. I was like, I just want to see like the dating. Like, I want them to like, like fall in love vibes or like be interested with each other or kind of like show that they're more keen. Like, which is like, I think Don and Casey had that kind of flirting, which I thought that was really cute. But like, the rest was like so like, friends, everybody, let's
Yeah.
be friends.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
this
They
is not
didn't like what they saw.
about being friends. I mean,
Yeah,
sure,
do you think?
to be fair, sure. But I just felt like, okay, like,
Like,
I
were they trying?
expected, I don't know if they're trying, and I expected, like, if it was a dating show for there to be dating. And then in the end, only got, like, 2 couples, like, and not to fault the cast or anything, I just, like, at the end of the day, I just felt like that is kind of what was lacking for me for, like, the series.
Actually,
sure, okay.
actually, I agree with what Sean said. He mentioned like how maybe they were just not attracted to each other. And
Yeah.
you know
And
how
I think
with
closed off already.
yeah,
Yes.
and you know how with other like Western dating shows, right? They will switch the cast around.
Yeah.
Like there will be new people coming in and then the older people will go out. But in this case, right, 1 week was with the same group of people. So once you realize that everyone is not your type, then you'll naturally shut off. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like,
Yeah.
for example, like case study, right? Casey was just like, oh, like everyone's nice and they're decently
Yeah.
attractive, and like I just don't have anyone for me. Dawn came in. Oh my god, you know what? Actually, I am into dating now. Like, wow, I'm not like physically attracted or anything, but like Dawn kind of like that's what happened, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm trying
yeah,
to reenact what.
They are cute though, the both of them.
Very
like after
adorable.
Dawn came in,
Fucking
right?
adorable.
They only had eyes for each other.
Dude, and then at least the flirting, I really like.
Yeah.
I was like that, and I was like,
Oh my, it's like
I'm gonna die alone. Oh my god.
cringe, but like a bit cute. You
But
know?
it's cute because you can see that the both of them, right? The foundation is like friendship.
Yeah.
Then they can banter.
Yeah,
Oh, so cute.
So, who will y'all pick if y'all were in the show?
Wait,
As in, like,
suddenly.
if we were in the show, if we were dating, who would we
Like,
date?
who you pick out of the cast?
Like anyone, right? Donna. Sorry. Like. Hey, you gotta appreciate a man's good looking.
Oh,
you know?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
like,
Very
okay,
quite.
you guys go first.
I would pick Don's brother.
Sir, within the cast, sir. Stick in the circle. Okay.
Wow, who would I pick?
Maybe
After
one-
the
maybe one girl,
after
one
the
guy
show,
lah.
First impression.
Oh, should we do it both?
Yeah, we do both. One
Like
girl,
at
one
the
guy.
start and then at the end.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Those
After,
won't change,
okay,
it's okay.
I don't
No,
know.
shut
First
up.
impression, I don't think I would have picked anyone. To be fair.
Yeah. Okay, maybe after the show end. No?
Yeah, after
who will
the
you
show, I think it's a toss up between Dawn and Sam for the boys. I think for the girls, it would be.
Oh shit!
Nah. Like I
Well,
like
it goes that
Casey.
bad,
I think as a friend, Casey as a
Yeah.
friend, I would like it, but I don't know how I would like dating her.
Gets.
Yeah, because I think she's too much of a girly girl for me.
Y'all?
Yeah.
You leh?
You eh? You don't skip ah.
You also must see
hello, sister.
Miss Leah.
Not interested
yeah,
in
please.
any of the guys. Sorry.
It's okay.
Then
So at the start, then at the end.
I don't mind dating any of the girls.
I
I mean, they're all quite pretty lah. So yeah, it's okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
For me, right, the guys, I feel like Don is closest to my type because he's funny.
Yes, yes.
He's funny.
Funny, got angkong.
Gong xiao that one.
She
some
like
more-
Buff,
lah.
buff.
But then actually, right, I think she like someone else. Sorry, I think she like
No,
another person.
Okay, so I have to say though, although Don is more my type, right, I will pick Brandon, but
But
I feel like throughout the show, subsequently he got a little bit tired and he started to close up.
yeah.
So I really cannot tell what's his true personality.
Right.
So I don't know who I'll pick lah between Don and Brandon.
By
Yeah.
the way, I would like to disclaimer that I just picking based on looks lah, huh?
Ah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
you
yeah.
pick based on looks,
Personality,
ah.
okay. I just pick based on
Then
looks.
now I like explain the personality.
it's okay, moving on.
Sorry, because if not later people say I pick on personality, then they like, why would Leah blah 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 blah. I'm not sorry, I just think they're very pretty lah, that's all.
Hey,
Full stop.
people relax outside.
I also never
internet, relax.
It's okay, it's
I
okay,
never
done
say
already,
Brandon
done
not
It's
nice.
okay,
I just say
Brandon.
Brandon
Then
just
if you're watching
DM
this,
Brenda.
I like to say Brandon after she saw you at the reunion when you cut your hair, right? She say, "Wow,
Yeah.
he noticed you again."
Wow.
Again.
You just it's meant to be Brenda and Brenda. It's
Brandon,
fated.
The ship name is still
Brandon.
Brandon lah. The ship name is still Brandon.
Yes.
The
Okay,
ship name is
enough.
Brandon.
Back to the cast and the
Okay,
show.
moving
Yeah.
on to the next part
Eh,
because we talked
he
about
haven't
it.
answered.
Okay, yeah,
I
answer.
know important.
No, I want to know.
Say.
Based on looks,
Yeah.
Don
just
and Casey done. No need to discuss.
easy,
Okay.
easy.
I mean,
Easy
that
done.
sounds like a throuple waiting to happen.
Excuse
Wow.
me? What? What? Oh yeah, you say moving on, yeah.
Moving on. Okay, so we kind of want to talk a little bit more about like and analyze certain things that happen. For example, I'm not sure if you guys may notice there might be some kind of like a little bit of a double standard between like some reactions towards the guys or some reactions towards the girls, and sometimes it's like it doesn't benefit the guys, sometimes it doesn't benefit the girls. So let's just talk a little bit about why in certain situations like that happens. Yeah, so like for example, the first situation, it will be like drawing boundaries. You know, so I think for the first one, I think very clear one was when Casey drew a boundary with Gary that she felt uncomfortable with him being too close to her because she's probably not very interested in him at that point in time. But Gary's like, oh, I'm just like a bro. I just want to like, you know, I'm quite physical touch kind of person. I don't mean it in a wrong way. So for that situation, it was okay that they had a talk, and even like the other girls like stood up for her also. They were all like, hey, like you have to tell him not to like do this. Yeah, but like another case which may not be exactly the same would be where I think Sam expressed like his discomfort in like, you know, physical touch during the game session. And I think someone said like he was a party pooper. I think Atika mentioned that or something like that. Yeah, or they were like, why? Like they all kind of felt like when he said it, they all like, oh, like why
The
he
mood dropped
suddenly-
as well.
Yeah, the mood dropped. You could
dropped.
feel like in the room, everybody was
got like
oh.
serious, like
Yeah,
guys
like-
chill, like
Yeah, I think they felt that it was just like funny, like a fun game, like why is he taking it so seriously kind of vibe when he said it. So the mood kind of turned into something more serious and not as fun as it was. Yeah, so what are your thoughts on that?
Let's start with Sam first. I think it's very refreshing to see a man
Being open.
about his boundaries. And I feel like it's something that, you know, I feel he shows a little bit more of a sensitive side. He's a bit more vulnerable. There is certain things that he was uncomfortable with, which is, to be honest, like something that I may not necessarily see often on TV.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
that's
don't
true,
see all
that's
that.
true.
Also, if people like generally
Yeah.
think that men have to be, you know, the aggressor in
Yeah.
that sense. So it was quite nice to see like someone like Sam, who is very tall in real life, to, you know, be more vulnerable and say like, hey, no, like I'm not comfortable with, you know, like this kind of physical touch. And it was nice that I think for the most part, everybody respected him for his for his choice.
Correct.
Yeah. The party pooper thing, maybe it is a little bit of a, how to say, clever editing, right?
It could have been like to kind of just give a commentary. It's like, rather than everything be so PC, right? Just
Yeah.
stir the pot a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So maybe she didn't feel it entirely that way, but maybe it was kind of like, I don't know, clever editing to make it seem like it's drama, but there is actually no drama. You know what I mean?
I think like okay, whether it is clever editing or not, it should be understood that we should always respect each other's boundaries, be it a game or not. But I think during that scenario, the person that said party pooper actually said like, you know, I think I quote if I can remember correctly.
Yeah.
Like you know, I thought it would be fun because of the show. You know, we're filming something for like the video, and like if you don't do it, it's kind of like You know what I mean? So I get that, but at the same time, I think it's also extremely important to just respect people's boundaries.
for
Be it man,
Yeah.
woman, anything. Yeah, if my cat doesn't want to get touched, I'm like, okay, I get it, stop hissing. You know, that kind of thing. And like, it just goes around.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised by this situation because maybe in my everyday life, I don't do it. Like I
What do you
don't
mean?
I try to validate people's feelings as much as possible, regardless of their gender.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
so it might be a case of
I don't
clever editing. It might have been just a very small
comment.
comment, but then they have to put in to
Stir
make
pot.
the show a bit more exciting.
I do feel that
Yeah.
also like maybe the Sam's case and the Casey case is not a good example to use against each other. I feel
Yes.
because I think I just giving an example of like not double standards, but like giving an example of like respecting boundaries in a sense. That was the closest that maybe it was shown in the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do feel that I think one thing to take away from this is that guys don't express that they have boundaries very openly. That is like, I think, the clear difference between girls. So I don't think it's double standard to a sense. I just feel that guys feel that they don't, they are not able or vulnerable enough to show that they, have these walls up, because to them they're like, if I am like that, right, then I'm not a bro, I mean,
Yeah.
like my friends are like, hey bro, just like drink like, you know what I mean, like, or just do this that kind. Then they like, hey don't want. Then people will be like, oh, you damn lame, that kind of thing.
That's very
Yeah.
that's pointing to a larger societal problem in the
Correct.
sense that there are a lot of expectations on men to just take it in,
Correct.
and live their life, move on.
Yeah.
Right? If anything that happens to them, they just have to like swallow, just take it on, and
Yeah.
like
You're a guy, why
you're
you
a
like
guy,
that kind of
which
thing.
I find very toxic. And we're in the 21st century. I do feel like a lot of people should get away from the expectation.
And I honestly, like another situation where that happened in the show, right, which is quite a controversial one, which is when they had all that whole dinner session,
The
right?
unfine dining. is
Yeah,
it?
and then
right,
so
right.
Brandon said,
Why?
answered the question and said like, oh, he felt article was fake, right?
Oh shit!
But
that part.
in that particular group scenario, like I think Dion had to answer a question too about like what you can change about the person beside you.
Yeah.
And then
So
to-
many things.
Yeah, she just
A lot of
pointed
things,
at Gary
yeah.
and was like, "You are a lot of things," that kind of thing. Honestly, this one,
Let's break it down.
yeah.
Okay, let's start with Dion. I think for the first part, I'm not like trying to defend her or anything, but it did come across from a very immature. I'm trying to avoid answering this question in a serious manner. The way she laughs and the way she kind of reacts to it, it may come across as like, oh, I'm just trying to deflect the question, make it a joke, so people don't take it too seriously.
Dude, if someone said that to me, I'll be like, "What the fuck?"
Will you
Like,
punch the person?
I'll be fucking pissed. No, which is why
What do you
when-
mean I'm a lot of things?
No, because
right?
which is why when I watched it in the video, I was kind of like, I mean, I think our reactions weren't really shown, but I was kind of like, you know what I mean? Because I just feel that like it's a bit disrespectful to. It's like you don't treat him as a person.
Correct.
You just see him as like
A
like,
project.
Like you're not nothing to do with me, so like I don't have to bother with you. Kind
Yeah,
of.
Yeah.
I think there is I think with these two situations, right? The main point here, right, is there are better ways to tell
Correct.
someone that
There's
whatever
something
they're
to
doing
improve
may
on
not
lah.
be the right thing or may
Correct.
not be the best way to present themselves.
I would like to say that to everyone who watches this video, and I think even to like people who watch like the original video. I know this is like a bit died down by the time this video comes out already,
Yeah.
right? Like, please do not take this video as another initiative to go and comment
Yeah.
or like like harass people on the internet. Whatever we're saying now, it's like sometimes you cannot help it. Like the show is curated in a way such that drama is stirred. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like people are people, and like if this doesn't happen in your own real lives, then like you also are problematic. Like as in, to a certain extent, right? It's like
true, it's
everybody will have encountered something like this in their life,
100%.
but you don't go around and like
Ban
go and
someone,
talk
yeah.
shit about them
Yeah.
and like go and DM them. You should kill or something kind of thing. Like nobody does that, what,
Yeah,
right? Even
it-
if this happens to you in real life,
It also just so happened that like because they're all on camera, right?
Yeah.
And a reality show, right, really shows people's flaws in a whole new light, man. Yeah, I do feel like okay, like from what Fauzi mentioned, right, like how she approached the answer was from a very like a slightly more immature perspective, and I do see that immaturity spread in other aspects.
Yeah.
Like the part where the girls wanted to talk to Casey.
Right.
I think her tone of like calling everyone was also a bit like
Aggressive.
like the everyone come to my room. What did she say?
Something like
From
that.
my memory, it's like we have to talk now. Everybody in my room.
Yeah.
That kind of vibe. It's just the delivery was not the best. Yeah, a lot of things could have been said better.
I think sometimes in life, some people just need to know that like they get away in life by saying a lot of things because nobody tells them that
Yeah.
these are things that you shouldn't
Yeah,
be said.
correct.
Because nobody is like daring enough to tell them maybe
Right.
like like be nicer. Like the way you say things like this is kind of like sensitive. Like I'm a little bit affected by it. Maybe nobody has ever said that to her, like to the people lah. So yeah, you have to learn a lesson to in a certain way or another lah.
Yeah.
In a sense.
And I do hope that they do learn lah. Like I mean, it's a very rare chance for you to actually be able to observe yourself and how
Yeah.
you
Oh my God,
interact with
yeah.
other people. So I think for the cast, right, if they are able to watch it and actually take back like how could things have been better said.
Like when Dion said those things, right? And then yes, I know the Atika, the fake thing. Like everyone was just like, oh yeah, Gary's social cues, social skills, and they all agreed and they talked amongst themselves and everyone just knew it, right? But with that one statement that Brandon said, the fake thing, everyone was just like all in. No, how dare you sit down, sir,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like I felt like it was extremely unfair.
Yeah.
Like
I
if you want
agree.
the truth and like I agree with your point, the whole like if you ask, just take it lah.
I mean, it's true.
It's true. I mean, like, don't take it personally. It's just
Yeah.
for the show, and it's just in this 1 week. It does not define you as a person.
Yeah.
Like, can we all just be a bit more civil about this?
Yeah.
But I also understand that maybe Dion came off as a bit more immature with her delivery, but also with 9 people sitting around you, just looking at you like, oh, what did the card say? I can imagine the pressure, which I'm sure also Brandon felt as well. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like,
Of course.
delivery-wise, definitely can be improved and whatnot. But like, also, I get that there's pressure.
The difference versus the Brandon Attica situation and the Dion and Gary situation, right, was that there's one side is missing empathy. That is the main part. So Brandon said it because he had to answer the question, right? And people were like egging him on, like, say it, like, just say it, just say it. So he said it. And then he felt bad after that because like to him, he's like, I just meant it as a way, like, you know, like because I had to answer the question, it's not really something that like I mean seriously or whatever. Like she's a nice friend and things like that. He said it after that, right? And he even after that whole thing, everybody's like, oh my god, you are there. And then he like felt so bad. He went to talk to her and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was like because people made him talk to her that he went to talk to her. I felt like he already felt guilty that he had to say it. Then he went to confront her about it after that to like share with her lah. But in the other situation, there was no empathy in the sense that like there was no feelings of like I'm hurting your feelings. Like she didn't feel like she hurt his feelings.
Right.
Yeah, she just felt like I'm just saying like whatever lor. And then the fact that other people also agreed. So there's also fault with the other people who didn't say like, oh, you cannot just like say this kind of thing. It's really about the difference about whether guys can take it or not also, right? No, like if a girl was sitting next to whoever, like another girl, maybe they called Atika to say something, right? You think she would say to the girl straight up like, babe, I think you like...
No. She 10 times will just eat the thing in front of her.
Exactly. She would either eat or say something that is completely not related at all. Like be like, I think like you, sometimes like you sleep, like you kick me in your sleep, you know, we share our room.
Yeah.
Like that kind of vibe. Like it's giving that, you know. Like it's about how much a person can take it, right? So I feel like in this situation, like while... You know, like Dion was like, could have been better in her speech. I think it also boils down to a bigger picture where it's like, you know, they think men are able to handle this kind of criticism over like girls, you know what I mean? And like, it's okay for us to like disturb someone who is like a little bit different from us, even though, you know, like the whole group agrees and stuff like that, which is like not. That's like that the point of this is like, you know, be a little bit more aware of like how people would feel like in that situation.
This whole situation got me a lot of hate comments. The Brandon...
Oh yeah.
What did you say?
Me also.
Brandon is ungentleman. I said as a gentleman, I wouldn't have answered the question.
Sure.
Okay.
Right? I would have eaten the thing. And it
okay.
wasn't a suggestion that Brandon was not a gentleman.
Right.
Was that maybe because of expectations placed from society to me, is that I would not want to confront someone and answer that question. And it's a very fair decision. If someone were to ask me, who do you think is fake, unless I know who you are and who I'm talking to, I probably wouldn't answer it.
Yeah.
It's just because there is a better place and better time to talk about this.
Offline.
Yeah, offline, exactly that. So I felt like, so I think a lot of people did give me a lot of hate comments because of that. Yeah, someone left a long ass
What
message
did
to
they
me
say?
saying like, you are like propagating the double standard and everything like that.
Digital footprint, I guess.
And
Okay,
I'm just
wait.
saying, like, I'm not representing an entire gender. I'm not representing an
It's a
entire
personal opinion.
species of human being.
Yeah.
It is my personal opinion. If
What you would
someone
do.
did, if I were presented with that question, like say if someone told me to answer like who amongst here is fake,
Also who?
I mean, I will answer lah.
Like-
Actually, to
like-
be honest, I will answer who is here,
like-
the fakers, but
Who?
nobody is the fakers.
See?
The plant somewhere. No, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's just like, I wouldn't want to answer that because why would I want to stir unnecessary shit?
Yeah.
Second of all-
Okay, yes.
No, sorry, no, I
Yeah.
was going to say, thinking about, it's freaking on camera. I just
Yeah.
lie lah. Walao eh. Like to me, it's really like, oh, this can be avoided if you just like,
Sister.
Why?
No, but that's
Not wrong,
we come
meh?
from a different point
Sorry.
of view. lah.
Yeah, correct.
We are
correct.
producers. We all
really like you don't need to say I never hold a lie detector to you and ask you to
Yeah.
die. You know what I mean? Like you never tell me you're gonna die now. Like,
yeah. No lah, I guess like we know how to play.
Yeah.
We are producers.
Okay,
we know
fair,
how
fair,
to
fair.
play the game.
Sure. Okay.
All right. At the end of the day, right, every time I think as producers we see it from a
Producer.
Yeah,
different
correct.
perspective. We
correct.
know like that things are going to be on camera,
Correct.
and
That's
we know
why,
how to
yeah.
present ourselves the best. And one of the big reasons why this show was such a hit was that majority of these people
Sure.
are not media trained.
Correct.
Fair,
yeah.
fair.
Correct,
They are
correct,
just
correct.
regular folks who got thrown into the world. I mean, there is if you want to compare this to another show, which is Friend Zone by
Right,
you
right,
watch,
right.
That was a little bit different because a lot of people on that show
They were
media
influencers,
trained.
yeah.
They were either
Yeah.
influencers or they were, somewhat in the
A DJ,
scene.
yeah.
So somehow they will know how to present themselves lah.
Okay, moving on, everybody. Let's move on to the next part, which is to talk a little bit about like girl group and guy group dynamics. Okay, why will you laugh?
Huh?
I mean, think
'Cause-
about it, right?
Yeah.
It's very interesting that you mentioned this, right?
Mm.
All the time, right? In the history of girl groups and guy groups, like music groups, right? always the drama is always girl group one. Boy groups very rarely have drama.
Fifth Harmony.
Fifth
No,
Harmony.
One Direction got so much
Little
drama.
Mix.
Little Mix.
One Direction so much drama.
Okay, a
They're
little
all
bit
little
lah,
girls
but
inside.
Little Mix, Fifth Harmony, the Spice Girls also got drama.
Oh, yes, right. Pussycat Dolls have now.
Hey!
Literally,
Do you
the
know
entire existence
why?
of drama.
The fact that Pussycat Dolls is based on Nicole Scherzinger
Yeah,
and
see?
none of the rest is the drama.
It's to me like a little bit of a microscope into society and our expectations and how certain people just can't get along, but somehow maybe it gets further like analyzed when it's in a popular culture kind of situation. Yeah.
Okay, stereotypically men who are very masculine
Heterosexual,
and heterosexual.
cisgender
Yeah.
men.
Yes, I didn't want to group them, but yes, basically them. Just for observation, they are really like they fight, then they like whatever lah, bro. Like they just like move on. Like they really don't dwell on it, and they don't like talk shit about their friends.
Yeah,
like,
that's
in
true.
that circle
Yeah,
for some
actually,
reason.
yeah, all the
Interesting.
Yeah.
heterosexual guy friends that I have, usually they really let bygones be bygones, and they really don't talk shit about their friends.
Yes.
That's really true. Oh my god, interesting observation. Yeah.
I talk shit about my friends though.
I think
Oh
they
well,
really
that
do
says
it
something
in
about
person.
you. Then.
For the guys,
Yeah.
if you notice, like when they talk to the girls and the girls bring something up, all the guys are in the loop. They know,
Yeah.
like the topic. They know like who has issues with what, and they're like, oh, okay, sure, no worries, blah blah blah. But for the girls, or when the guys have something to say and they tell another guy, it's just straight up. Like they know already, you know. But for the girls, like they will just have more things to say behind the back. that
Tell
they
each
did- that
other,
they did not
yeah.
deliver, and they delivered to certain people.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that could be a thing, like, you know, if people were upfront or like just, you know, maybe. I think, I don't know.
you must ask the girls on the panel here,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, like,
Ask-
yeah, like,
and, like,
how- yeah, how
is
is
it
it like, yeah.
difficult to be upfront about how you feel about certain things?
Honestly,
Yes, eh.
yeah, actually
Why?
no. And the funny thing is, now that I think back, right, I find it very easy to be straightforward to guys.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, okay, I tell you, you take it as it is, settled, right? But then I feel like when I want to tell a girl something, right, I scared they'll take it in the wrong way, think too much, then they'll end up hating me.
Do you realize it boils back down to the previous conversation?
Yeah,
we just said
exactly.
Yeah.
About how a girl. That's why maybe Dion had that message. She's like, just tell him whatever. Like, it
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
but you know, being straightforward
okay,
is okay.
Yeah.
But the delivery matters a lot.
Yeah.
So
Of
of
course,
course, when I say, I don't say like, hey, you fake It's just more of it will be more of like, yeah, I think
There's something
based
to
on, you know, that time what happened. Yeah, I feel like maybe you can improve from that.
I feel
Yeah.
like no, but I do feel that nowadays sometimes it really depends. Like because I do have guy friends who are quite sensitive too, and they might get upset if I tell them something like that also. Then it boils down to like people calling them like, oh, you're behaving like a girl. You know what I mean? Like
That statement.
Yeah,
That
which
was
is
like-
like, yeah, exactly. Like because like we don't want to like say like, oh, certain traits are only like, you know, girls.
More feminine.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But it's just about how sensitive you are as a person. I just, in terms of like sensitivity, that would be like the scale of things.
I do think it stems from society and societal expectations of what each gender should be like. Men should be a certain way, women should be a certain way, and it is something that is very hard to break out of.
Yeah.
You know, and I think
Correct.
there's still plenty of work for us to do as a society to get out of that cycle where we think that men should be a certain way and women should be a certain way lah.
Correct.
And I do think that all these entire the entire like interactions between the different gendered groups, it's becoming it's a very, I would say it's a very accurate representation of what happens in society, but it's also a very good way for us to reflect as audience members to think about like, actually, should we really be doing this lah?
And I feel like at the end of the day, you know, like we are moving towards the final episodes, right? Where the whole confrontation took place. There was a lot of disagreement amongst the girls, which is why we wanted to bring it up. I think it's about the way it's handled. Because like if, okay, let's say now, like I think, okay, I'm like a lot older than most of them on the show or whatever, right? Like I could see that this happening in secondary school.
Yeah, this brought me back to my secondary school days.
story
Let me tell you that I
You
got
also.
PTSD from watching the video.
Because you also also
because I felt like I was in secondary school and getting
Oh,
bullied by
no.
people in my secondary school. And you know why so many people resonated in the comment section? Because they probably have gone through that in their life before.
Yeah.
That's scary. That's
Yeah.
actually really
It
scary to
sucks.
hear.
I'm so sorry that happened.
And
No, it's fine. And it's like, you know, when you're young, you don't realize that these things are happening. You don't realize that even the people who are the bullies, they don't realize that this is a bad thing, you know,
Yeah,
because to
they
them,
don't
they're
know.
not educated. They don't
Yeah,
know.
they are still growing up also.
Correct. They don't know what is the best way
Oh,
to
no.
behave. And I mean, it only took me like until I was older to realize that, like, you know, sometimes shit happens like that. But like at the end of the day, it's just like that's when you're young, you know. But when they're already like 20 plus years old,
Yeah.
like there
then-
is some accountability that has to happen, right?
Coming from the point of view of someone who I guess indirectly bullied someone, and also I also got indirectly bullied before. I think when I was younger, I really didn't know how much impact it would have on the victim
Yes.
until I experienced it myself.
Yeah.
And then I realized, wow, shit. Like, it still bugs me until now. So, I guess why, like, sometimes I'm a bit of a people pleaser, right? It also came from that. Like, how I scared, like, if I say that I don't like or I don't want to do, then they will say that I damn lame, then, like, I don't want to be part of them. That kind of thing, you know?
It's true,
Like,
it's
it still, although I'm, like, older now, it still resonates with me. It really affects my decision. So, yeah, I think bullying is not good.
Of course, I full stop.
Yeah, bullying is not
yeah.
good. I think it's scary, and I don't think people will ever like recover from it.
Yeah.
It shapes you
Honestly,
to who you are.
Yeah,
today.
correct,
It could have
correct.
a lot of implications
true.
in life.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, I was bullied as a kid.
yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Well, why is everybody
We are
such a
trauma
common
bonding right now, lah.
trauma?
Just
common
trauma
trauma.
bonding, right?
But like it's so common, right? Then it's like so that's a problem, right?
That's what makes me sad.
Yeah,
And
same.
especially in today's world, right, where social media has become a
Oh
Yes,
my
yes.
god, let's
part
not
of
even
their
talk
lives,
about
right?
that.
I feel so scared for these kids.
Yeah,
eh.
and honestly,
cyberbullying, all
you
this.
don't even need to be not a friend to bully someone.
Yeah.
Even your friends can indirectly bully you, you know. Coming back to the drama about how the girls approached Casey, right? I feel like what I learned is that age doesn't equal maturity. Yeah, I realized that a lot. Like there was so much miscommunication,
Yeah.
and a lot of the way things were delivered could have been improved. Like there wasn't a need to sound so harsh and so
Confrontational.
so
Yeah.
accusatory.
Yeah.
The tone was just not right.
It was like
Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like, okay, this is how we feel, you can share how you feel. It's more like, this is how I feel, this is how I feel, you should say sorry.
yeah.
That was the tone.
It wasn't a conversation.
Yeah.
It was like,
Correct.
It was one-sided.
yeah.
Yeah.
And-
no, okay.
And I feel like okay, at the end of the day, like okay, so the confrontation that we were talking about is at the end where like you know the four girls asked Casey to go to the room to talk about like you know the things that they had issues with her and they wanted to talk with her about
Yeah.
it. And actually Casey prior to that already had went up to some of the girls and been like, is there something I'm doing wrong or like what? You know, like she tried to like address the issue and they were like, oh no, nothing, or like, they had some talks
but there
about
was
it.
something.
Like they did, yeah. So the problem with girls, they always nothing is wrong.
Yeah, when it's together, right? Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh my
I
god,
agree,
you know.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
but okay, that's not like stereotype on girls as doing that all the time because I think that as you mature, like to a certain extent, sometimes you realize there's no energy for this. Sometimes you just tell your friend back
Correct.
Yeah, I'm just
Like with my friends, I'm
Yeah.
like, if I don't like it, babe, don't do this, that kind of thing. Like, I
Yeah,
don't like that kind of
correct.
thing. Why did I say babe? That's so disgusting.
Now we
But
just
anyway.
want to like live our life, earn money,
No,
and
like, yeah,
just
correct.
retire.
The reason why we should talk about this, right, is not so much like the issues they found with each other because I think there was a lot of debate on the internet and they were like maybe they were upset with Casey for doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you know, maybe really like behind the scenes, behind the cameras, you never know. Like maybe Casey was like not treating them well or something and then they were upset with her, blah, 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 blah. Fine. I completely understand. And it's nothing wrong. I feel like if we can all unanimously agree, there's nothing wrong with disliking someone.
Yeah, of course not. No.
Yeah.
Not everyone gets along in life.
Correct.
Yeah.
And if you're forced to be on a show for 1 week, you definitely will not get along with everybody.
Yeah.
It's just a full stop.
Bound
Like
to happen.
it's bound to happen, you know.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be BFFs with all the girls there.
Yeah, it's the same as at workplace. What you're not gonna like everyone.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's be civil about
Yeah,
it. Like,
correct.
Right, yeah.
But I think that like in this case, because like Brenda said, like it was the way it was like so accusatory, right? Then it became bullying because the person who was the victim, Casey in this case, right? She couldn't really voice out, and it was a group thing. Like if you're in a situation where you're 4v1, right? No matter what you say, right, you'll be overpowered by people who are just like pointing fingers at you and like you know, like it's always power in numbers in a sense.
Yeah.
So that was where the bullying came about in a sense.
So the energy, I get that the intention was to resolve something, right? But the energy I got from that whole like scenario was, I just want to hurt you, or like I want to like scold you or like get some feelings out.
Yeah.
Or like not hear what you have to say or feel. So it just felt very like, I don't know, aggressive or like attacking, like
One-sided?
hostile.
Yeah.
Like, the word's hostile. It just felt very hostile.
Actually, if you two were in Casey's point of view, would you have preferred them to individually talk to you separately?
No.
I mean the group or individual, I think
Yeah.
both okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I would prefer group actually, because
Okay.
Get it over and
I
done
feel
with.
like individual,
One
right?
time go one.
Like
One
it's,
time go one.
yeah,
Like, we settle now. We settle
Because
now.
people are different, you know?
I think
it's like what's that broken telephone?
Yeah.
Like it happens when you talk to people individually. There will be miscommunication. That's how
I
rumors
understand.
spread.
It's true.
So I would prefer if the group just talks to me, but
No, but
maybe
you know what I mean?
not
like,
in this tone.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
But if like they went up to you personally about their personal problems with you.
Oh, that's fine.
then yeah, okay lah. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
No,
love
and
that.
I feel like if
one-on-one.
you are comfortable enough with the person that you can have this open
Yeah.
conversation with them and be like, hey, I don't like that, like
Yeah,
you
you
did
do
this,
this.
or like actually the other day like when you pangsay me or what, like I was kind of like sad or whatever, then you'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it's like move on. Like it's better to just move
Someone
on from
pangsay
something.
me, I happy, sir.
Oh
You're not
can
the same as
see.
everybody
I can
else.
Honestly, yeah, thank God.
Bless.
Bless.
Okay, but like, okay, so there's like 2 points of views, right?
Yeah.
Other people, so I think the gist of it was that we all agree that the way it was handled was not the best, right? But some people did comment in the comment section talking about like how Casey was playing the victim. Let me just share my personal opinion and what I've heard from people who have spoken to me about this. Because
Okay.
when, as you know, when we go out, it's just like, hey, you're the one we love
Yeah.
host. I have become like the one
They
we
keep
love
saying
host.
pose some
It's a
more.
personal-
It's like it's written on your
We're barely
forehead.
even in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're like there maybe 2 minutes of the episode.
Yeah.
Just to get away.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, whatever. Then they will like ask me for my opinion. And then some people actually say that they like, oh, they feel from the show that they would not vibe with Casey, they feel like she's being a pick me. So like
Same. I've heard of that also.
Yeah. So pick me would be something like a woman who
Oh.
claims or acts as if she's unlike most other women in order to gain attention from men.
Ah.
Okay, so specifically it has to do with attracting a male,
Yep.
right? But in this case,
But what if she lesbian?
oh, same thing
Oh,
lah,
okay.
right?
It's just a pick me
Okay,
person.
sorry.
Pick me person, okay?
Okay, pick me
Same
person,
with the,
okay.
if it could be a
Person.
male also
Okay.
being a pick me, for example. Okay, but it has to be.
Pick me non-binary.
Pick me 100.
Oh,
No lah, but I mean legit. Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Okay.
So I feel that because it has to be like, oh, like you're trying to gain attraction from the gender that you prefer, right? Then in this case, like I don't feel it's relevant to this situation because how does like anything that she did wrong in the thing like affect like her, you know, attraction
No.
to like Don or
Yeah,
whatever?
because right, it's after all a dating show.
correct.
You
And-
are supposed to go and talk to someone you're interested in.
Correct. And
That I
don't-
completely agree.
No, correct.
Yeah.
And I don't think she was like putting other girls down or like saying I'm not like them kind of vibe in order to get attention from me. Like he already got her attention. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It wasn't like she was trying to compare herself to the
Yeah.
other girls. Yeah, but then people in the comments were like, oh, she's being very pick me. So I feel like the term pick me has been used very loosely to coin girls who are very like
Like very
kind of girls.
tan.
Very tan girls. And then guys give them attention because they are like the and then like, you know, sometimes like it's just natural attraction. Like some people find they're attracted to girls like this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could be men, could be women, whatever.
And
it
these
is.
kind of girls, right, don't sit well with bro girls.
Correct.
Bro girls won't appreciate that.
Correct. People were saying that she was like that because of like maybe the way she spoke or like how she act and stuff like that. So what are your thoughts? Okay, because I thought a lot already.
Oh
Your thoughts.
my
Wow.
gosh.
Thank you very much.
What are my thoughts?
Wah. If I put myself in her shoes, right, at the part where they confronted her and then she cried, I think I also would have cried. Because some people, they cry not because they are sad. They cry because they
Overwhelmed.
don't like being accused and they're overwhelmed. So I think at that point, if I'm her, right, I also confirm cry.
Yeah.
So many fingers pointing at me, I cannot take it.
I think
don't
that kind
I
of
can take it.
situation, right? It's like there's 4 of them. They're talking to you and everything. You don't
Yeah.
have a voice. You don't have a voice. Whatever you say is gonna go unheard.
I mean, honestly, yeah, whatever it is, right? I think like, at the end of the day, right, it is a show. How you make whatever you see on the show is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Don't take it at face value and just react based on that.
Correct.
Can you learn something from it? Can you reflect on it? And are you complicit in this in real life?
Actually, I kind of like that they were angry. The comment section.
Right.
Because like it's good. Like you're angry. You feel like things are wrong.
Yep.
Correct. Great. So you know it's wrong.
Yeah.
Right. But then what are you doing about it?
Correct.
So now that you know it's wrong, now you know what it looks like.
Reflect on your
Then
own life.
Correct.
make sure it doesn't happen in real life. Since you're so like
Passionate.
you're so passionate about it.
right?
Good. Then if you see that happening, just
call it out.
So I think it's important that like if let's say we say all these things on camera, that we also like follow through with our
Yeah.
actions and really like try to stand up for it. And like not all the time, we are not here to be like, we are not the most perfect people on the internet also. We're not like people who can like 100% we know when to like say the right thing, when to do the wrong thing, but at least know like how to address the situation that is like something like this.
Okay, so I think like talking about bullying, right? I see a lot of comments bashing the contestants, some of them. So I think calling out that something is wrong is okay, but I think how the message is phrased is very important, because I feel like seeing all the comments, right? A lot of them are like high key cyberbullying, and cyberbullying usually leads to very bad consequences. Like for example, Terrace House, that Netflix Japanese reality show.
Yeah.
There was this pro wrestler, her name is Kimura. She committed suicide because of all the hate that she got from the show. So you won't know lah. You will think like your comment so small. I mean, okay, right now when you're typing a comment, you may think that it's so small it won't affect anyone. But all that comments coming together, right? No matter how little, no matter how much, it will still affect someone greatly.
That's kind of like the TLDR of today's lessons learned
much
from
to say,
1
so
Week
little
Love.
time.
Yeah, and we just wanted to talk about like the different situations that happened and how we can put a perspective onto like the different parties. Even though, by the way, you asked us, do you know what happened at the show? We don't know.
Yeah, the thing is we don't know.
never go onto the set.
We not there.
Really watch the video like you watch the video.
I watched it yesterday.
I never
what?
I
just
never
watched
even
it.
watch like
Every-
any extra cut,
Every time I go to like events or
hours
I
ago I
meet new
watched this.
people, right? They will ask like, "Oh, were you part of it?" Like wanting to know what actually happened behind the scenes. But I'm like, it's really what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
And
yeah.
and honestly speaking, there will always be two sides to the story.
Correct.
Okay, so just respect the two sides to the story and move on. Yeah, and that's about it. It's like the only thing we are disagreeing about is like the whole two-side disagreement handled. Okay, but moving on to exciting things in the future
Yeah.
is, would you watch a season 2 of this?
Oh
Interesting.
Tell me.
shit.
Wow.
If they ask
Wow.
me to be the panel, I will be forced to watch
I think I
What you
would.
watch?
I think I would. It's like this 1 Week Love thing was like my first official dating reality TV show
my
that I
God.
watched.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I didn't watch Singles Inferno, the other Inferno.
Please watch it.
Like,
Yeah.
Inferno,
yeah.
New Singles Inferno season 2 coming.
Yeah.
Island House Inferno, whatever Inferno lah. No, I don't know.
Actually, same, because I feel like Singapore I've never seen such a successful like reality dating series in Singapore.
Would I watch season 2? Yes, but will it be the same as season 1? No,
This
because
won't be the same thing.
no,
too.
I think because right now, right, I don't know if we'll get the same excitement as season 1.
It
Only
really
because-
depends on the contestants.
Correct, and I
Yeah.
feel like because the people who are applying to go to season 2 have probably watched season 1 and they probably know what to do.
And they are
better.
gonna be trained like
yeah,
like not professionally, but they will know what to say and what not to say.
So I
already.
do think it's gonna be even more challenging for the producers
Yeah.
to create storylines.
It's true, because it's gonna be a lot more polished.
Correct.
Yeah, for sure.
But I also hope to see like like the audience, if there is a season 2, like dealing with things better. Like, I think that would be a good improvement. Like,
Yeah.
Wait, long lah.
Yeah, I literally was about to say that.
I can hope.
Wait
You can
until
hope. A
never
man
lah.
can dream, right?
You just wait this video, the comment section also.
Oh
I'm
shoot.
waiting to see you.
Hey, ready? Come, give us all the hate comments.
Tell me
You think
what
we'll be
you
affected?
want to tell me.
Please
I don't
no.
think we'll be affected.
Yeah,
I just
I
know
also
that
I don't
because
get
you're
that.
like quiet.
Thank you.
Hopefully, we'll get a season 2. I
Yeah.
would just prefer season 2 to have more love in it.
Yeah,
Please have
that's
more
true.
love. I'm more
Oh,
interested in the
interesting.
relationships.
Maybe the format should
Yeah.
change.
Yeah,
Oh.
we
I
can-
want to see
I
actual
want to see
relationships.
romance. I want to see them make out. You know what I mean? I want to see
Yeah.
like, oh, like
Oh,
what they
make
go
out like
so naughty.
a bit like softcore already. Like,
Make out, where got softcore already?
I don't know. I just see people like making out in the screen for like 10 seconds.
Or like kiss lah.
Like
Kiss
kiss
lah.
lah.
Kiss,
Okay,
kiss,
okay,
she make out like,
okay.
oh, okay, whoa.
You never see all those singles, even though everything all like.
They want
not-
different.
I don't watch lah,
Okay,
babe.
but
All the all like blah 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 that kind.
Inferno
You
is
know?
like no touch.
Nothing.
one.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
still so scandalous.
Yeah.
Because of the suggestion of it.
Or
Yeah.
like the
They like, oh, we sleep in the same bed. Oh,
Or
so
go
scandalous.
sit in bathtub together.
Oh my God.
They could be 2 meters apart in the same bed, and,
then-
it's like, oh, so
Wow, oh my
scandalous.
God.
Show tension damn strong. They wear
Yeah.
the bikini, then they like,
Yeah.
like nothing. Like they stare at each other like. I'm
Oh,
like,
I cannot,
whoa.
I
Which is
cannot.
why I'm so excited for Singles Inferno 2.
Yeah.
So
But
excited.
I'll be excited if there was a little bit more like romance and like development into the romance aspect of season 2 of 1 Week Love. But in that case, I guess we'll wrap up today's episode here. Let us know in the comments what y'all think. be nice, of course.
Please. Please.
Sean is like, I'm scared.
I'm not just nice, please.
Yeah, just to us, just like, be a nice human,
let's
full
just
stop.
spread more positivity.
Yeah, spread positivity for sure, 100%. Let us know what else you all want to see on future episodes of ZULA ChickChats in the comments as well, and then we will see you guys then. Remember to like, share,
Share,
and subscribe.
subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.